that box,
Selling
man.
that thing.
That's just the reality of the situation. For the majority of women, that's what they're going to be to survive. That's what they're going to do.
Yep.
That even when you go into the ancient world, the reason you always saw prostitutes is because there has always been this class of women who became outcasts of their families.
Yep. Yep.
You can walk through. It's all good. Have at it. What y'all think about what Trump is doing, man? What y'all think of how y'all like Trump?
You want to talk to me about that?
Yeah. How you like it?
So, I think him focusing on the U.S. is a good thing.
Right. But as you say, he's focusing on the U.S. Is the working class people of the U.S. getting any kickback out of the deal?
Not yet.
Okay, well, how long is it gonna take?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Because when it's time for technology, when it's time for war, when it's time to help Ukraine, when it's time to help the state of Israel, the Zionist state of Israel, there's always billions of dollars that just pop up.
I
But
agree.
the working class people, you, me, right?
I agree.
We continue to get
100%.
screwed. But I'm not against or for. I like some of the stuff he's doing. Trump is fulfilling Bible prophecy.
Yep.
I
a man of
agree
God.
as well.
Yep, that's
He's
all it
isolating
is.
America too.
Now, my business is, without getting into the weeds, is about steel. And a lot of the competition in my business comes from China. And them bringing all the crap in from China affects me and my business. They don't have a good product. They dump this stuff in here. It's super cheap.
Right.
Now,
So you're starting to feel, is it a negative effect?
Now,
Right.
my product's
Right,
better.
let me shut the fuck up.
So my product's better, of course, right? But him adding the tariffs and shit to it
Right,
it works well for me.
right,
And it brings some of try to bring some attention
Right.
to that.
right, I got
Now, I love it.
you. Right.
I like a lot of the things
Let's
he's
get
doing.
Isaiah 19.
I love a lot
finish
of
what
things
you
he's
got.
doing.
I'm gonna get to the point.
I like a lot of the attention he's bringing.
Right.
When they bring some of these.
It's a beautiful thing. We love
some
it.
of these spending things that they're doing, like when they talk about spending money on transgender nonsense in some other country.
All over the place.
We can do better with that
Money.
here.
That's Doge.
With
That's
our
Doge. I was just
people
thinking of that, yeah.
And
That's
our
Doge.
stuff.
So
That is
now
awesome.
what do you think about Trump and Elon splitting?
I think now this gets into the weeds here.
Right.
But Trump's got to play, he's in politics.
Yeah.
He's the president. He's
Right.
got to
That's
do
why
his thing.
righteousness will
Now,
never come
Elon's
forth from it.
saying, what the hell are you doing with this?
Right.
We're spending too much money here. But Trump's got to play
Right.
in the middle.
Lastly-
a little bit here.
Right, I got you.
He's gotta
I got you.
he's gotta
Lastly,
play the middle a little bit.
lastly, we're gonna get a scripture, but I want to ask
Please.
you, what do you think about the brain chip aspect of what Elon and Trump and AI?
Sure.
What do you think about that? What do you think about it? No, what do you think about it?
I like it.
Okay. Would you be open to putting a chip in your hand or in your forehead to function on Earth?
So, American.
It's either yay and nay. I need a yay and nay. Would you take a chip?
Not yet.
Not
So
yet.
to buy or
So you
sell?
would eventually.
No, but not yet. So in Europe, they do a lot of things like you get on a plane,
Right.
they're taking your picture before they get on the plane.
Right.
They do a lot of stuff
Biometrics.
there
Right.
that people here in America would lose their mind over. They're already doing it here in America.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not in your face.
Yet.
It's not in your face. So they don't realize that we're doing it here in America.
Yeah, it's
If
gradualism.
people
Gotta
here
catch
in
up with
America
China.
realize that we're doing it already,
Right.
it's just they would lose their mind.
So you would take a chip.
I would.
Okay. That's
I
good.
would.
That's it.
Because that's where the world is going.
That's where you got to do what you
And
got to do.
that's the thing that,
Right.
that I think is
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah, Esau's the end of the world. All right. Now, you good. I just wanted to ask you a few questions, man.
No.
It's all
We're all
good.
Doing
good.
Isaiah 19 yet, or?
Go back to where you was at.
Okay, kind of. This is Second Ezra, chapter 7, verse 43. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time.
And that's what's coming. And Trump, and what Israel is going to do, Israel is going to lead America into a conflict okay, centered around Russia and Iran.
Right.
And it's going to lead to World War III. As much as Trump talks about, because a lot of the countries, all right, even the UK, they're tired of Israel and their constant warmongering.
Yep.
They're tired of having to fit the bill and come to their aid and put military might towards, a constant offense.
Yep.
You know?
America's being isolated. They don't have any allies except for Israel. You know?
They have allies, but the thing is, all of their allies are iffy.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm talking about true allies.
It's not a real true alliance.
Right.
Even Turkey, when you look at Turkey, they play the fence with Russia.
Yep.
Okay? A lot of the EU countries are now having a mindset, all right, towards getting with Russia. Because if America withdraws itself from Ukraine, what's going to happen? Europe is going to have to fit the bill. Europe is going to have to put more million, and they're not ready for that against Russia in that area.
This is a perspective issue.
They're going to side with Russia. Well, it's prophecy. For us, what we're speaking is what I just said is written in the book of Ezekiel, the 38th chapter.
Right. And I believe you're 100% correct.
Right.
But this is a perception issue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it in front of my face right now, but as it progresses, it becomes more and more in their face.
Mm-hmm.
So this issue, like Israel fighting, different things, is in the best interest of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
They're not focused on that part.
What's your mindset on the Jews in Israel? What do you think about that? The Zionist state of Israel.
What most people don't realize is Israel was not exactly a country, for a long time, but a lot of the people were there. And
they have been coming there since the 1800s.
They were the dominant people in that area.
No, they weren't. The Arabs were the dominant people in that area.
Well,
let's be real about it. The Palestinians were, now from the 1800s going forward, Germany started importing the so-called Jewish people over in that land. So after a time, it had become conflict. And when you look at a map, we can look up a map of what was the percentage of Palestinians in that region before these people got there. It was clearly more of them, but as time went, and even until now, there's been wars over this land belongs to us. We're the Jews. God promised it to Abraham. We have the right to fight for it and bomb for it. And America has supported that. America has supported that.
You've done more homework than I have, but perception is that. Well, I'm just saying.
But the perception is I've been right the whole time, according to you.
You've done the homework, right? You've done the homework.
All right.
You can state factual stuff.
Right.
This is me.
But your perspective.
As a common
right.
guy.
Right.
Giving you perception.
I want to hear.
Perception is that there was a lot of Jews in the area. They did their thing, but they were overpowered by the people in the area. And when they established the state of Israel, that everybody was there like, no, you can't. No, we're not going to do this.
But who established it?
I honestly, I'm not.
The British.
I'm sorry?
The British.
The British.
Right.
That's fine.
The British.
But
in particular, it was who had a stake in it was the Rothschild family.
Once they established the state of Israel, I 100% agreed with.
You agree that it's the fulfillment of biblical prophecy?
I agree.
Okay.
I also agree that they should be where they're at.
Okay.
Should some of the stuff that they've done, been a little different with how they've handled, acquisition of land being a little different?
Right.
Maybe.
So you believe
I
don't
know the politics.
You believe those are the biblical Jews?
I believe they should be there.
Okay.
And that's their space.
Right. Okay.
And they should be granted their space.
And they should be granted
They should be granted. They should be granted their rights to do that.
Rights to use the Bible to wage war.
Correct.
They can do that. Okay. But if we did that, what if we did it? What if we did it? What if we say we're black and we're proud, and we said, you know what, this land really belongs, because you got this doctrine, which so-called black people were here, the Native Americans that were here, a lot of them were described as dark skinned, but at the end of the day, through prophecy, this land will be given unto Esau. What if we said, because the so-called white man took this land, which he did, from the people that were here, right? And he justified it by his pseudoscience. He said, well, they weren't doing anything with the land. They're technically inferior. They're 3/5 of a human being.
Civilized.
And then they use science. It's not racism, it's science to justify just wiping out genocide nations of people, man. So what if we said, you know what? This is really our land. And we went and got a pocket nuke in a Monte Carlo cocktail and threw it, and waged war. Would you say that we were justified in that? No. You'd be cursing the screen out. I saw their asses. Them motherfuckers.
Now, I'm going to say this. Did we steamroll all the people?
You did it, man. It's okay. It's okay.
No, hold on. Did we steamroll all the people
Yes.
that were here? Yes.
So that's
Yes.
yeah.
Because the Europeans that came here were like, we've got more technology. We're, stronger. We've got more people coming in. Can we steamroll all you guys? Yes.
Right.
Was it right? No.
Let me ask you this real quick to back up what you just said, right? If it wasn't right, as you just said, so according to the Bible, if God is just, do you think that the retribution should be the same thing happening to the people that did it?
That's a tough call. Because,
If God is just.
honestly, I can't answer your question properly. I honestly, I
You don't have an
can't
answer?
say. Because, like I said, did the Europeans come in and steamroll all the people here? Yes.
Fuck yeah.
They brought in a lot of people, a lot of different cultures,
Right.
to bring this country where it is.
And
today.
over the last 8 years, the white race, so-called white race, have been made to feel bad about that history. And there's a kickback, what is it, black
fatigue.
Black fatigue. We've had black fatigue, where y'all are, you're looking at George Floyd, which is a mess, right? All of that is a mess. But now there's a kickback amongst the so-called white male, the Edomite. He's basically saying, look, yeah, that's what we did, man. And look what you got. You got a cell phone, you got a hamburger,
You got Jordans.
you got, look, you got access to everything you want. You got Jordans.
PlayStation, all that shit.
So, okay, yeah. And we're not against that. And you have the right to feel that way. You have the right to feel that way. But according to prophecy, there's a judgment for that. For what happened here in America and all throughout the earth, you don't just get away. As a matter of fact, can we get Revelation 13? Go ahead.
I got one too.
Revelation.
And it was given unto him power. Go ahead.
Well,
Well, get what you was going to get, and I'll find it.
Okay,
I
this
got
is
one.
Revelation 13, verse 9 and 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that
No. Go up.
Like 2 verses.
Okay, 7.
Start at 7.
Okay.
Yep.
Revelation 13 and 7. And it was given
Because
up.
when you talk about Europe, that is that comes out of the Renaissance. Leading up to Europe becoming a powerhouse was the Renaissance. And what was the Renaissance? What does it mean? Rebirth. The rebirth of what? What was reborn into the earth? What was the main theme of the Renaissance? Rome. The rebirth of the classics, the classical thought, culture, Greco-Roman romance.
Yep.
This is Rome right now. Everywhere you look, you're seeing Roman infrastructure. This is a resurgence of the ancient Roman Empire. Okay? And the Bible, the Lord gave power to the so-called white man as a judgment against us as a people to do that. It was given unto him. Read it.
Revelation 13 and 7.
And for the record, we say white, but we know that there are technically people who may look like you that actually are people. So it's not so much of a color thing, it's about a spirit. But the so-called white man in America, we believe through faith, is the Edomite, which would be the adversary to the children of the Lord. Now, when you look at these people on this sign, who we believe through faith are the Israelites, the common theme and the common person that had a foot up their ass are your people. You say the Europe, because the American likes to try to separate themselves from Europe.
Right.
All right, but really you're all in one. And when you talk about the state of Israel, it is an extension of Europe.
Yeah. Yeah, all those people that you see that migrated or that was brought down into the state of Israel, They came up through from the Ottoman Turk Empire, all the way. They came up into Europe, started to mingle themselves with the families. At the time, it was the Byzantine Empire, and they was mingling with those families, and they became oligarchs and everything like that. That's why you had Charles II leading all the way up into what we understand as King James. Well, Charles is the son of King James,
Right.
But those families were vying for power, and they eventually got power all throughout Europe, leading it into the Habsburg dynasty, which led into what we understand as World War I, World War II, all those histories, which led into the Balfour Declaration and them migrating down into the land of Israel, okay, which immediately sparked off a war, which is against prophecy, because the first day they came into the land of Israel, a war popped off with Egypt. Well, that's against prophecy, so that negates them saying they are the true people of the scripture. But this is what they don't teach, because I was listening as I was driving up, and you know, and one of the cool things, I don't know if it was you or you who said it.
It was him.
But basically he was saying, yo, you're talking about history and everything. Like, I'm just telling you common perspective.
Right.
And that's how powerful media is. Media is powerful. It can drive perspective and outlook. And that's what we have right now. And that's why Trump was so cool. Y'all were talking about Trump, because he challenged a lot of the common perspective and brought the thoughts of what a lot of people was thinking. Yeah. White, black, don't matter. Like, yeah, that is fake news. That is stupid.
Right. Why should a tranny be able to walk into the bathroom with a little child?
Yeah, like, hey, you know, like, it's just weird.
Reading books to children, yeah.
So Trump was calling out a lot of stuff that we all were thinking. Like, and of course he's going to get the popular opinion, because we're all thinking the same thing.
And I appreciate what you guys are doing, because what you said is very important, because you guys are saying things outside the box. Mm-hmm. You guys are saying things that are not like, oh my gosh, somebody's going to be offended by what you said, you know, which is awesome. You're saying the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of people think truth is in a certain perspective or a certain box or a certain line. Mm-hmm. And that is not true, because, as you said, truth is defined by perception, and a lot of that's driven by media. And the media, like my mother used to tell me, if you tell somebody often enough they're stupid, they feel they're stupid.
Yep, they'll wake
up. That's not the truth. The truth is that's perception, not the truth.
It's witchcraft. It's the manipulation of the mind. And because it's magic.
Yeah, it's actually magic.
It's taking control of your mind, because when you look at TV, the flicker and the program and it's implanting ideas. Yep. It's like it's giving you, like, this becomes your view. Like, even if you are a mad man and you're mad at women, you could just look at content all day, and that will become your perception of any woman you see.
Yeah.
They're all 304s, yeah.
Every woman you see now got to be
a hoe.
Just a hoe, or an attitude, or mean, and
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
So feminist.
Right. So that there is power in these devices we're looking at. Yep. They're giving you over, like in the ancient world, they had the black mirror. Again, it's right in your hand. So you do have to guard here, because there's so much being thrown out there.
And most people don't think.
Yeah.
They're told what they're supposed to think. Right?
Exactly.
Yep. They're told what they're supposed to think, 100%. And they swallow that pill, and that's all that we got.
That's it.
It was a nice discussion with you guys.
All right, so y'all here for the fan expo?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You guys are having a good discussion.
I was just wondering.
I've enjoyed your discussion.
Yep.
Thanks for having.
Yeah. The fan expo is out here, so there's a lot of people walking up and down.
Yeah.
Now, what is the genre? Is it all types of stuff?
Yeah, it's
Is it comics?
Comics and
wrestling,
anime.
anime.
There's
Get
all
your big
kinds
ass
of
out the
stuff there.
camera, man.
And I gave him a hard time about trying to walk on.
Yeah, but we gonna go on with with what we got going on.
But I know y'all enjoying yourselves. Y'all decide to come back.
No, like I said, you're having a good discussion.
Yeah.
And if If I called bullshit, I would have called bullshit on you guys.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And I would have tried to bring it up with facts. But you guys have brought up some good facts. You have good discussion.
That's why they're not
with
gonna
your
put us on the
topics.
news.
This discussion is gonna change the world.
I'm just saying, this is from me,
I
my
got you.
perspective, because history is always told by the winner, and the truth is told by the perspective of the individual. That's why people believe some of the bullshit they're getting from media, right? And so you guys have brought up some great points.
Right.
I could not refute them, and I would.
If you
I
could.
would call bullshit.
If you had
if
to,
you guys, if I didn't believe,
Right.
what you guys said,
Yep.
and you guys had some good points.
What's that scripture? I
Some
will give
good
you.
topics. I dig it. That's why I came over and gave you guys all props.
It's all good,
You
man.
know, because you did.
Well,
So I
Props on
appreciate
top.
the discussion.
and things are going to get worse here in America.
I agree.
Yep.
I also agree because it's going to take a while to purge some of the bullshit and nonsense that we have in our society.
Eventually, a divine judgment is going to come.
I also agree.
Right? That's what we. But go ahead.
Luke 21:15. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist.
Right. And this is what's happening in the earth. There's a narrative that has been pushed as truth, and it's dominated the mind of the people, and that's finally being challenged, not only by us, but even by other, heathen nations.
Right. Yep.
Okay, there's a kickback against the stain, because we'll sit here and say, well, yeah, did we conquer? But that's a lot. That ain't no small.
Right. Right.
You know what you do to people, separating them from their families, right? Putting drugs in their community. And our people, we speak against our people more than y'all think. Y'all mad at the people on this. So we're tired of our people. Our people do a lot of wicked things. Black culture, we're not coming out here to forward that. What you know as black culture, gangs, baby mamas, all right, bad bitches and thugs. We're not for that.
All right. So
That's not a good thing.
I just heard from my side
Mm-hmm.
is that you're talking about a lot of the 80-20 that they talk about in media topics.
Yeah.
There's so much nonsense that they're like, guys are girls and they should play in women's sports and
That's
all
crazy.
that bullshit. Now, I call it bullshit because it is bullshit.
It is.
And, there's a lot of other topics like that a lot of our politicians are defending and screaming from the mountaintops that we should do. And that's wrong. If 80% of the people, that's why they call it 80-20, say, hey, we should do this, why are you defending this? And they are standing on there, trying to stand on their mountaintop. And this is not just about that topic, of women's sports.
Right.
But there's a lot of these topics
There's a lot.
that are socially, morally, everything wrong that they're defending that we
They
should
did that
not-
in Sodom and Gomorrah.
we should not be on that.
Yep.
And like you said, the reckoning is coming.
Yeah.
It's trickling in.
Yeah.
But, we have established resources that are saying, well, we should be fighting for the right of whatever. No, this is dumb.
Yeah.
This is dumb. Why are we doing this? We should change our perspective.
I got a scripture for what he just said. This is Isaiah 5:20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. So basically, they're turning everything upside down. They want to make men women, women men. They want to just basically create chaos.
Yep.
So based on what you just said, how many topics have you heard in the media that you're like, how in the world can you guys be fighting for this topic?
Yeah,
It's
Now, I'm
crazy.
not saying what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying,
Right.
how in the world can you be fighting for this?
Yeah.
This seems easy. How in the world can you be doing this? And it's bullshit. You're just trying to be a
Right.
virtue warrior, standing up for one guy out of 10 million.
Right.
Yeah.
And standing on his, and like, it's dumb.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
They try to make a microcosm be the macro
Correct.
of society, and now you go into these
This
schools.
1% issue.
They want to make you think that
This is
Yeah.
the
This
micro
1% issue.
weirdo is like
1% out of
50%.
10 million people.
Yeah.
You are.
and they put the they put the camera in front of them, and this becomes like a real, like real quick. What they do, like in a country where the men and the women, they have a dynamic. The men he had multiple wives, okay. It's order. They'll go over there, and they'll fund a rebellion of women that are against the status quo. And then the Western media can use that, put the camera in front of that.
This is what all the women think.
This is what all of the women think. Okay, and it becomes a reason that America can then go over there and intervene. We have to take down this government and set up one that's more conducive to the progression.
Puppet leader. Yep.
So this has come down to, again, Trump has killed the Doge people that he's had, has killed a lot of topics. And when you've heard some of these topics about how we spend money
Right.
in some of these other countries, do the majority of Americans, would they support a lot of these programs?
They were
You know,
doing
they would
transgender
be
study
like,
on
they're
monkeys.
appalled by, some of these top money things that they're spending money on.
Yeah. They were
It doesn't
spending.
matter about the amount of money. They're just like, are you kidding me that we're
Right.
supporting
Yeah.
this as a country?
Yeah.
Again.
And
this
there's a
is
judgment
not-
for that.
This is not a thing.
Yeah.
So, again, I appreciate what you gentlemen are doing.
God.
I appreciate
that back
the
in.
perspective you're pushing.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you guys have a good evening.
You too,
Yeah,
man.
man. Y'all enjoy y'all
Have a
evening,
good one.
man.
I'll be safe.
Y'all about to have a good night, man. I already know. I heard about some of the festivities.
Oh yeah.
Guys have a good evening.
All right,
All right,
man.
man.
That's solo leveling.
And it's what's crazy is you can have a better conversation with Esau than a black Christian.
Oh God. Oh my
A
God.
black Christian would already curse.
emotional.
Oh yeah.
Cursing.
Yeah. K-Dub.
Yeah.
He would have already been a nigga.